shall we? Let's do a little Will Smith. Let's get the star porn clickbait up front. I'm not going to keep you around for it. So if you're here for the star porn clickbait, I'm going to deliver. Why don't we take a look at Mr. Smith's chart? There he is. Gemini rising. Black Moon Lilith on the ascendant. Interesting. You know, one of the things that came up with him and Jada Bell is the fact that Jada Bell had another lover, another paramour. Can you say Gemini? More than one? Also, I've heard, rumors that that Willie hits from both sides of the plate. Again, not judging here. It's not a judgment. It's just a rumor. That would also be Gemini, by the way. So he's got Mars and Virgo and Jupiter, Pluto conjunction. That's money. That's a big money aspect. And the guy's got a lot of money. Okay. He's rich. I don't think he's happy, but he's rich. And he's coming out of that. He's 1968. He's a monkey. See, he's a monkey. It's the year of the tigers. It's not good for monkeys this year. Monkey is Leo in Chinese astrology. Of course, the tiger is Aquarius. So if you're a monkey, pay extra close attention to your monkey-like outbursts, although the monkey is pretty tricky and clever. He wasn't tricky or clever enough. So he's got that Pluto-Uranus conjunction. Yes, I know. And he's got a Uranus-Sun conjunction as well. And it's out of sign. So he's going to be, look, they went back. He went back to the planet and he's sorry. He's sorry for killing the pterodactyl. Or is he trying to get back on the ship? Oh, he's trying to get back on the ship. He's like, you know what? I thought about it. I don't want to be here with these beautiful blonde women on Venus. Take me back to Earth and put me in handcuffs. Okay, so he's got that Sun-Uranus conjunction. And he also has a Sun-South Node conjunction. So he's got a weird thing to work out in relationship. And that's all fifth house. And this guy's restless. Well, he's restless. And it's very early Libra, first decan. So he's charming. Will Smith can be very charming. And it's interesting because, theoretically with the South Node and Libra, he's really not supposed to be in relation, but he can't get out of it, right? He's got lessons to learn. He's got lessons in love, especially in the fifth house. And then we get into his just, overpopulated sixth house. Mercury, Venus, right at the edge of Libra, that 29th degree Libra, 28 degrees Mercury. So that's the Via Combusta, right? So he's going to get burned and singed. Anything that is dross-like, he's going to get it melted at the Via Combusta. Also, these things that he would utter, by the way, with Mercury and Venus, there's no distinction, right? So when he does this thing with Jada at the Academy Awards, now they're throwing rocks at now they've turned. They've turned on their pet pterodactyl. What's that all about? That's what they do at Mecca. They throw the let's watch them. They throw the rocks at the stone in Mecca called Shaitan. They throw rocks at Shaitan. So what did they do? They hit it so hard with those rocks that the head fell off. This movie's fucking weird. Now they're all bummed out. You need those men now. See, this is the problem here. It's exemplified in this movie. All these emotions with the ocean and everything. And now they're caring for the animal that they just killed by throwing all the rocks at that animal. Anyway, let's go back to Will Smith. That was compelling. It's almost like there's two movies in one here with this movie. Anyway, okay. Just like my show. The thing here is that when you have the Venus Mercury conjunction, like anytime you've got a planet that close, they're inseparable, right? So he couldn't help himself. He could not help himself when it came to speaking out, right? For Jada in that moment. He couldn't help himself. And there's also this inconjunct going on with, guess what? Chiron. It's got a Venus Chiron. That's so wild, you know? The Chiron inconjunct is like trying to make up. Like this, he's a Gen X guy with Chiron and Aries. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about. He's trying to work out being a man again. Not a mannequin, but a man again. And what did he do? He tried to deal with this inconjunct with Venus and Chiron, right? By the degree. It's right there. Bada bing. Even Mercury's there too, right? It's in that 3-degree orb. So he was trying to get, I tell you right now, Will Smith, even though you may think it was prearranged and they got the alopecia thing and all the other shit that goes along with it, he was trying to reset his masculine nature. That's what he was trying to do. And it's right there. You could see the inconjunct. It's happening. That was all last week. That was Sunday night, right? And the moon was in Aquarius. Hello, right there. Bang. Where's Chris Rock? He's born February 7th. Where's his sun? It's right on Will Smith's midheaven. I can tell you that right now. I don't need a chart to look at it. It's on his midheaven. So the moon was passing over Chris Rock's sun, passing over Will Smith's midheaven. What happens when the moon hits the midheaven like that? It connects with people, with the masses. That's the 10th house. And that is the moon, the lunacy, and the madness on display for the masses. It was all right there. Trigger City. Bang. And then he's trying to do this reset with Chiron. He's doing exactly what I was talking about. He's like, I got to be a man again. How do I do that? And then on the other side of all this, he's got all this Scorpio stuff. He's got Moon and Scorpio, Neptune. He's got some intuitive ability. Well, I'd say Will Smith has some intuitive ability. He should be using it to help other people. With that Neptune trying to Chiron, this guy should be doing good works. Maybe he does. I don't know. Get out of the fucking Hollywood game. Go find God, Will. Not the bullshit version of God you were talking about at the Oscars. That was you. That was you. Dedicate your life to good works. Humble yourself. When you do that, this Chiron Neptune triangle will kick in. The Moon Neptune triangle will kick in. And you'll be redeemed. You'll find redemption. And guess what? Your true, Chiron's right there. It'll be redeemed. You'll find your manliness, right? You'll find your masculinity. You'll get your man card back again. But you'll do it with service unto others. It's not ego. This is not ego here. This is the ego with the sun. So what does he have? He's got a sun Chiron opposition. Where's his sun? It's at 3 degrees in Libra. He's like, nope, I'm over here. I got to go get my man card back. He does this from time to time. He slapped that guy who was some Romanian reporter or something who kissed him. He slapped him. So he does this on occasion. He tries to get his man card back every, 3 or 4 years or so. And he also has, and most people have Chiron opposite Uranus, by the way. But it's the Chiron Sun opposition. Even Pluto Chiron. That's unusual. Pluto doesn't always oppose Chiron. So he's got that. Chiron's a big planet for Mr. Smith. Planetoid. And it's mostly challenged with the inconjunct and the oppositions. And the way out, the way to soothe that Chiron, abandon the ego, abandon it, do good works, and don't talk about it. Because that's the moon. The moon doesn't talk about it. Mercury talks about it, but not the moon. So he's got a classic what? It's not quite a zigzag seesaw chart. He's got a bucket chart. And Saturn, and maybe even Chiron, we can make a case. It's a wide spout from Chiron to Saturn, all the contents of the chart. And where is it? The 11th house. Friends, the internet, media. Yeah, he's a mess right now. And he really should be theoretically a healer, right? Chiron conjuncting his true node. He's got a lot of things to work out. He's got the partnership stuff, the unfinished business with relationship. And then this Neptune thing on his descendant, with deception, and we're going to have an open relationship, and all the things that go along with that. With Neptune there, Neptune on the descendant can definitely represent an open relationship. And by the way, it's probably open in both ways. It's not just, Jada saying that my entanglement. Speaking of Jada, let's bring her into the mix. Let's look at her chart. That's her and Will. She's very different than he is, obviously. And I have their composite chart too. We're going to get into all that shit. All right. I think this is Jada right here. Yeah, that's her. Okay. So Jada Pinkett Smith, how do I say this? I don't think she should have a family. That's not to say I want to take her kids away from her. We really wouldn't want to do that. But this is a chart that is not meant for a family. Plain and simple. Everything is above the horizon. She's got sun at 25 Virgo. Her midheaven is 18 Virgo. So she's got a sun midheaven conjunction. She's got a sun Pluto conjunction. She's born on a balsamic Virgo moon. And that's conjunct from midheaven. This is a public person. This is somebody who is all about being in the public eye. This is somebody who wants to be a star. And the Sun-Pluto conjunction is an obsession. It can be a compulsion to do that. And even with the moon in Virgo, which we know can be critical, and as a mother, she's more interested in being on display than being like a real mom, So what do we have down here in the fourth house, which is where she theoretically is supposed to be a mom? She's got Chiron. Hello, she's a Chiron in Aries, Gen Xer. Have we seen Jada at the school board meeting? No, I don't think so. But what's interesting here with Chiron in the fourth house in Aries, she's going through a Chiron return too. It's at 12 degrees. Look at that. I wonder if she's going to be able to stay in this marriage with Will Smith. I don't think she is. I don't think this marriage is going to make it, because she's going through her Chiron return, and she has to integrate. So, okay, there's two paths that she can take right now. She can either ditch everything up here and the image and her talk show or her Instagram, whatever the fuck she does, right? And she could theoretically be a mother, like, just, okay, I'm done. I'm shutting everything down. And my Chiron return is going to bring me back into my home. And I'm going to be, a fierce protector of my progeny or my whatever, right? She could theoretically do that. The other part here is that she would break off from her home and from her marriage and then focus on whatever's going on up here. Now, she also has Neptune, right? Neptune is opposing her midheaven. So it's going through her fourth house. This is the dissolution of the home. I don't think they're going to make it. That's my take here. There's too much. This chart is too top heavy. Again, the only way I think they could do it possibly is if she gives everything up, right? If she gives everything up, she gives up her talk show, she gives up whatever, right? And literally becomes a recluse, not a recluse, but just a regular folk. Okay. I'm not sure if she can do that. The other thing too, is that as Neptune continues to oppose Pluto, she's getting into the Neptune-Pluto opposition. And when that happens, you got to let go of something that's important to you. So maybe it's her home, maybe it's her kids, maybe it's her career, but it's going to happen along this axis, right? She can't do both. Like with this chart, she can't serve two masters. Because up here, she serves the master of fame. It's exactly what, by the way, she's not unintelligent. She's got Mercury in Virgo. It's conjunct Juno. And she's got a Mercury moon conjunction. There's also something very witchy about her. I've studied her face. Like I've looked at her eyes. There's something very witchy about Jada Pinkett. And you can see that here, right, with Moon and Sun and Pluto. It's like there's something very kind of, what's the word, alluring in a lot of ways, right? This is a woman that can cast a spell. Even if she's not casting the spell directly, like boiling frogs or whatever, she has that potential. Like Venus-Pluto conjunction, and Venus is in Libra. Yeah, that's very alluring, especially in the 10th house. So will she give all that stuff up? Because she's obviously getting something, right? She's getting something from all of her. And I'll be honest with you, she's kind of a minor star. She's maybe a B+ actress, more known in a lot of ways for her marriage with Will Smith and her escapades with young hip hop guys and her relationship with her strange kids. That's really what she's known more for. Maybe her heavy metal band. She's not known. I mean, you can see this up here, right? But something has to change. And she's got this true node Mars conjunction in Aquarius. She's got to play by her own fucking rules. You don't tell this woman what to do. I'm telling you that right now. Nope. She's got a Mars-Uranus trine. She's going to sleep with whoever she wants with Venus-Pluto conjunction. Forget it. You're not going to tell her what to do. This is a very independent person. And again, it's like, I think this is a chart that is made for somebody who wants to be in the world. Now, she does have Saturn over here. Remember Will Smith's Black Moon Lilith? It was right at the, I think, 8 degrees. It's right on her Saturn. She rules that dude. I'm telling you right now, her Saturn is on his ascendant. She rules over Will Smith. I would say, whether it's intentional or not, there's a master-slave relationship going on. When I say master-slave, I'm not talking about roots, right? I'm talking about like bondage, power, exchange. Her Saturn is right on his ascendant and right in his Black Moon Lilith. She tells him what to do. And she's got Jupiter in Sagittarius on her ascendant. This woman is not going to be tied down. She does have the Saturn opposition to Jupiter. So she does have this thing going on with Saturn, but she can't be with just, maybe she's being forced to be with just one person with Saturn and Gemini. But that's not a lesson I think she's really willing to try to work out. She's got this Venus trying to, it's a Saturn in her chart. And her Venus is all up in the world, right? You're not going to tell her what to do. Period. End of story. He's got a Pluto, Jupiter sextile, just like Will does. He's got it. That's money. Like, good luck reining this woman in. I don't think, like, if you wanted to marry somebody like her and have a partnership with her, you better be ready for her to run the show. I'm just saying. Because of the Moon Pluto conjunction, Sun Pluto conjunction, Sun conjunct the midheaven, Venus Pluto conjunction, Jupiter and Sagittarius in the first house, Mars and Aquarius trying her true node. Like, good luck telling her what to do. That's not going to happen. So Will is definitely not the alpha even in that relationship. She is. Big time. She's got this grand trine, right? She sets the law and she makes the rules. Mars trine Saturn. I'm not going to tell her what to do. Not at all. Interesting. Chiron in a wide in conjunct with the moon. Will had his moon. Guess what? His moon was trine Chiron. She's got an in conjunction. So she's trying to work out her emotional loyalty with whatever the fuck she wants to do. Chiron and everything. I'd be very surprised. So there's only two ways oh, look, South Node on Neptune. All this stuff is coming out. I don't know about this marriage. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they're going to break up. This marriage could end, especially down here. So again, it's going to go one of two ways. She's either going to renounce the world and just pull back from trying to be whatever she's trying to be and just be down here and, be in her house by the ocean with Neptune there and Pisces at 19 degrees. Or this is going to dissolve. It'll dissolve. So whatever trouble she has in the home is going to be amplified with Jupiter here. I'd be very surprised this marriage sticks. Just saying. This is a person. If you want to be involved with a person who is deeply involved in the world, right? This is the person you want to marry and be a partner with. But you better be ready to go along for their ride because it's their ride. And Will Smith may be the bigger star, but I can guarantee you right now, she is the bigger star in that household. Will Smith might have been the A-lister. She's the A-lister at home. She's running the show. All right, let's look at them together. So it's a little bit backwards here, but I'll show you. You can see it. So this is her Saturn. We saw that on her descendant. Look, that's Will Smith's ascendant right there. There's Black Moon Lilith. I'm telling you, she's running Will Smith. She is the Saturnian boss in that family. So if she wants to, have a little entanglement, she's going to have that entanglement with Gemini, right? And everything for her with him is in her 12th house. It's all hidden. It's all hidden. Moon, Neptune, Ceres, Juno. It's all 12th house. We don't see what's going on in that relationship. The real emotional content, which is dark, by the way. It is dark because that's the nature of Scorpio. There's no two ways about it. It's dark. This is like dungeon world over here. I'm telling you, this is dungeon world right there. 12th house. And maybe it is through Will Smith where she connects with that part of fortune and figures out that he is the emotional battery, for her kind of 12th house engagements. Because that's what's showing up here is the emotional battery. Now, Will Smith has Mars in Virgo, right? It's up here. And while it's not in a close conjunction, it is kind of a bit in a conjunction here. So he's kind of getting a little bit into the career stuff. Like, there's his sun, there's her Venus, right? So this isn't bad. But who's it going to benefit more? It's going to benefit her more because all of his planets are feeding into her planets at the top of the chart. Have they ever done a movie together? I don't know if they've ever done a movie. I'm not the biggest Wilson. I know his movies and stuff. I usually don't watch them, by the way, because there's something about him that bugs me. I think it's because he did the Wild Wild West. I talked about that anyway. But his planets are going to what? They're going to strengthen hers. So any kind of juice that she got is coming from, like, in a lot of ways, it's coming from him. For him, her planets are in his fifth house. So he's going to get what? Children out of it. And maybe some love, whatever, fifth house. That could flip his switch, right? But at the end of the day, she's the beneficiary of all those planets coming into her 10th house. And even when she did a red table confession, right? She was the one that was benefiting from him, not him. He wasn't the one saying, hey, I got to tell you, I had a little bit of a thing. And what would happen if he had done that and not her? Like, she caught a little flack from it, but he would have caught a hell of a lot more. I'm just saying. Right? Now, he has Venus and Mercury over here, 11th house. That's friends. Doesn't mean that if you're in a relationship, somebody's got their Venus in your 11th house that you can't be with them. I'm just saying. Right? So they might be friends. There could be a friend thing going on there. They might enjoy each other's company as friends. So a lot of his planets are lining up with her planets above the chart. Her planets line up with his planets below the horizon in his chart. Her south node is right on his IC. Right? If they had hired me as an astrologer, Will, if you'd hired me, I would have told you not to marry this woman and definitely don't have kids with her. That's that south node right in his. Some people can say, well, he's got unfinished business there. Yeah, how's that working out? You better clean that unfinished business up because this is not a great aspect. I'm just like, if somebody came to me and I saw that, and what do you think of this person? I go, You may want to just, have some intensity and maybe, some really good orgasms with that person and maybe move on, right? That's what you've been there and done that, man. You've been there and done that with this woman. What's interesting is that her true node is right on his midheaven. He's got nothing there, right? Oh, look at that. So her Mars, oh, fuck, this is amazing, right? Her Mars was conjunct the moon last week. Chris Rock's sun is right there. Jezebel. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make it. And even that south node is in Leo, man. That's children. Technically speaking, she should be helping his career out. But that, Mars is hard there because it's conflict, like it's tension. It can be aggressive unless they do something together. I mean, this is a clear example that they should be doing more things together and less things apart. Right? Less Jada and heavy metal, red table, and less Will Smith going out and saving the Williams family. Save your own family. Save your own careers. That could work. Other than that, yeah. And look, even down here, right? There's this true node conjuncting her Chiron. So he's trying to figure out who he is as a man in relationship with her. And where was Chiron last weekend? Right there. This is amazing, right? So what we're seeing here is we're seeing two couples work their shit out during the Academy Awards. It's all there. And Chris Rock, by the way, is the catalyst. He is the catalyst. With his son on her Mars and that offhanded joke, whatever, not a big fucking deal. Now, with the midpoint composite, which is worth looking at. Even with the midpoint composite chart, it's not easy when you put their lives together. Pisces rising, true node in Pisces in the first house. So they're going to figure out like who they are together in a Piscean sort of way. But again, this is like confusing. This is a confusing ascendant. And especially when you go through like an Academy Award ceremony, that's very Piscean, right? So theoretically, they're there to blend and dissolve. And I mean, ultimately, maybe that's just what they're there to do, ultimately just to blend and dissolve. And the marriage and the partnership is supposed to blend and dissolve. But it's also about weird boundaries, threesomes or whatever they've got going on, right? There's weird boundaries with Pisces. Then over here, there's that South Node in the 7th house. This is not great for relationship. I'm just telling you, right? Again, if they came to me as an astrologer, I'd say, yeah, this is not a great relationship. Do what you're going to do and move on. And even here, like everything is all 8th house. So the problem here is getting out of the relationship because this is all fixed. These are all fixed planets here. And even with Pluto Sun conjunction, it's like till death do you part, or till, something comes along and rips you right out of that relationship, like transiting Neptune, opposing right there. It's getting close. What is that? 20, Neptune's at what, 20, 23, 24 right now? So it's in opposition. I'm not sure they're going to make it. Neptune is already doing a number in their first house. And then look, here's Chiron. Bang, right? Chiron and Saturn. Again, kind of a weird like bucket. It's a weird bucket. And there's this thing between Chiron and Saturn Saturn being the authority, the ground, and Chiron being this everything in their chart is moving to Chiron. And what do we see? We saw this whole Chiron thing being worked out last weekend with Will Smith trying to get his Chiron back. Mars Neptune conjunction, top of the chart. That's tricky. Right? Sex. This is sex on display. This is interesting because this is where Mars gets dissolved and it's up there for everybody to see. Where are the boundaries? There are no boundaries. And ultimately, as a couple, they would go through something very confusing, right? Neptune, Mars. Neptune on the midheaven, which is what we saw. We saw a Neptune Mars moment last weekend. Where's Saturn? Transiting Saturn's over here, going through their midpoint composite 12th house. That's going to be hard for them. They may not make it. What did Saturn do? Transiting Saturn squared and is still squaring. I think they're going to break up. I don't think they make it. Not with a Saturn-Neptune square, unless they flip their lives, right? And they both just get out of Hollywood. And Will Smith kind of did some of that. Like he resigned from the Oscars because they were going to kick him off anyway. He resigned from that. And then Netflix. So he's being moved, right? He's being moved out of the public now. So he has more of an opportunity to get into that Moon-Neptune conjunction, trying Chiron, and be more selfless. I don't think they're going to make it, though, unless they could completely flip this Saturn square to Neptune. I think they're done. What's going to happen? Because Jada's a control freak with Pluto Sun conjunction in Virgo, and she's got that moon in a wide conjunction with Pluto, and that moon is supposed to be dissipative, balsamic, and letting go. She's not going to do that with a moon-Pluto conjunction in her chart. That's really difficult, especially because she's on display for the rest of the world. I just don't think they're going to make it. Unless they change everything, they're not going to make it.